bars, and then I start to knee cut, and then he enters that hook in right here. So this hook has to be nice and high. This knee is low, and he can either have the foot on the hip, the shin, the foot on the shoulder, whatever the case is, right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to clear this, and it's easy to just cup the knee, bring your elbow in, start pressuring in, and I want to grab the hip, because his ability to hold this knee on the inside, it's better for him. So now that I'm here, I can track this. So if he brings his leg up, I can start going right. If he brings the leg in, here. So now I want to start isolating this hook. I want to stay on my foot. I'm going to pull my toes back and drive my knee forward, right? Like this, here. And I should have almost all my weight onto my knee. So now it starts to kill this hook. Because if this hook is like active, he can easily kick me around and move me. But if I start driving my toes back and pressuring, it's a lot harder for him to push. So now we're going to go to like a pigeon toe. So I'm going to grab this one here and I'm going to squirt him up, because if his knee is vertical, his hook is no longer effective. So I'm going to bring this up. I walk and I pigeon toe here. So the two options I have, right? So I want to make sure that my toes are in, my knees are pinching. So once I'm here, the first option is our smash pass. So I switch my hands, I pin this in, and then I bring my knee across, and then I pressure elbow low, right? So the more pressure you can start putting forward, the better it's going to be for you. I'm going to go cross face, connect my hands, start driving forward, and then it'll be enough where I can go right to mount, right? That's going to be the best option. So again, pulling on the inside here, toes back, pressuring forward, right? I want to start killing this hook like this. Then I come underneath, I lift, I pigeon toe, switch my grip, in, and I pressure, blocking this hip. And I'm pressuring in the side of my foot into Fami. If I'm like this, it's too easy for him to elevate this leg. Yes. So I want to be able to drive in like this. Then I get head control, connect my hands, giving some cross face, then I start driving right to mount. Now, the other option, since this is a review, right? Pull on the inside, toes back, driving forward. Right? Pigeon, I'm going to go right foot pummel, and then I go to reverse knee on belly to pin stop, and then I switch to regular knee on belly. And then from here I'm fine. So one more time. Pull inside, toes back, pressure. Pigeon. Pummel. I'm pulling my right shin in front, and I'm going to reverse. The reason why is because if I just go regular knee on belly, there's too much space. So I'm just covering the space, and then switching, pulling up his arm, and I can do whatever I want from here. Okay? So that's two variations from that pigeon toe orientation. So remember, inside, here. This is where I want to be. Okay? Questions? All right, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be a back take from reverse delta Riva. So here, you have a couple different options. One is you can underhook and then use your leg as a pendulum to come underneath. Then once you're here, I keep this and this. I pummel my leg in and I go hit, hit, pull, and I kick, and then I choose the side, and then I finish. The other option, like I said before, was no pendulum. You're just going to elevate your foot. So here, I'm going to bend my elbow, I'm going to elevate up, and then I just make him step. I'm pulling, 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 pulling. Then I go 1, 2, hit, hit, pull, kick, seatbelt, and then I choose the side and I go. Okay? So why don't we just drill 2 and 2, and then we're going to show you guys how to counter that. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So we're going to get into that stack position. So if I'm just going to put me in that reverse delta Riva, so he's going to go ahead under, and he's going to start going. So here, we're going to catch, and I'm going to go to the hip. Now the first thing I need to do is this hook is super active. He can push and pull. He still has really good control. So I'm going to start driving in and then switching my knee over to this side and pinning this to the ground. So now that it's to the ground, he has less control. So now I'm going to switch my feet like this. And now that I'm in this position, I feel really good, whether I'm pushing here, I'm pinning here, but making sure that his hips are high, I'm squatting and I'm driving into palming. So then it's really hard for him to do much of anything here. And I'm putting a lot of pressure with my left shin. So now I need to get my left shin to the ground if I go to side control. So whether I go here or I pummel this way and I drive my knee to the ground, I'm going to pin your bicep, sorry. Yeah, I know that hurts. So here. So now I have this bicep pinned and I have the hip. My left hand is going to go underneath. If he has a collar, I grab the collar. If not, I go for the lat and then I drive forward to get him. Now I have that cross body control and I can do whatever I like from here because I have this near side arm pin and I'm locking the hip. So he goes, right? I'm catching. 1, 2, I'm driving this in. And because I'm putting pressure onto that knee, now it's easy for me to switch my legs and pressure in, right? Whether you like it here or here, that's your choice. Now, you good? So then my knee, I like to go like this. Toes go out and I drop my knee onto his bicep. And then I come underneath, I go for collar or a lat. I drive him down, putting pressure. So I have that nice cross body control. So it's hard for him to turn in or to turtle up, right? It's gonna be real hard for him. Then I can anchor to this, get head control, and then start to go forward position. So, 1, 2, 3, pinning, switch, toes, and then driving my shin over. I come underneath and drive in, right? Cross body, and you can do whatever you want from there. Okay? Yes?
Without me anyway, would you show what you're doing with the
near side?
The part where you use your knee to change from
Sure.
hitting?
So I'm catching here and I'm driving. Then I'm switching there. And so what I'm doing is I'm going toes and I'm shifting like that. Yeah. You can go this way, but you're going to be a little bit angled away. So if Pompey's on his back, that means that you would be like this versus this. I think this is better, right? So I'm just basically, I have this here, I go toes, and I drop off the bicep, off his knee onto the bicep. Nice. Okay? Any questions? All right, let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Reverse the Riva. And we're going to do another passing series that we did before from this position. So same thing. We're going to come on the inside, and I'm going to pressure. Now, on the last one, I went toes back, and I pressured him like this. On this one, you're going to crowd the space of your partner. And I want your hips to go as close as you can. So you're going to open this up and put your hips as close as you can towards his hips. So now this makes his hook really, really difficult to keep. And so now that I have pressure into my partner, I'm going to force half guard because I feel comfortable in half guard. So then I'm going to push this one through. I'm going to bring this knee over here and drop both knees to the ground. So I go like this, here, pin. Now my right hand can stay here or it can go to the ground. If you're taller, I would say go to the ground, right? You can go elbow to the ground. If you're shorter, just keep this here, and I'm pinching. And I'm pinching because I don't want him to relinquish this leg. And notice how my right leg just cocks back just a little bit like this. Now I go cross face. I don't want to go like this. If I go all the way in, I'm too light. I want to go cross face like this. Then I switch my hips, and I back step and bring this knee in, and then I'm past, right? If I overcommit when I'm here to really heavy cross face and then try to switch my hips, he can just kick me over, yeah, and just bridge me over. So that's the problem I want. That's why I'm really, really low here. So when I back step, I have that nice base to switch. So it's a little different than the other one. And I'm going to open up his knee and then pressure in like this. So I'm pulling this in and I'm keeping his foot really close to his hip line like this. So now it's real hard for him to use that hook. Then I push and I pinch. Cocking my right leg back, head control. I switch, back step, bring that knee in, and now I'm past. So again. Inside, pushing, pushing. right? Bami can feel this. The more vertical his toes can get, closer to his hip line, the better. I'm pushing off this one. Then I push this in, pressure, pop that right one back. Here, switch my hips, still pulling this one back so I don't want half guard. Then I back step, bring this knee in, and I'm past. Okay? Questions on that? Yes?
So is the goal of you bringing your hips in closer to his hips, just to release his del hiva?
It's not to release del hiva hook, it's trying to make his hook ineffective. Because if I'm in standard reverse del hiva and I try to just force it from here, the moment I go, he can go foot to foot and he can just elevate me up. And now he's gonna start resetting. So I wanna kill this hook so I can start moving around and then I can start forcing this. Because the moment I'm here and I start to go, he can just kick me up, right? Go ahead and kick your leg up when I go. Yeah, and I'm gonna be off balance. So we're just trying to kill this hook so it's not useful anymore, all right? But it's still gonna be there just for a brief moment.
And then one more question. When you have your knees pinched, like how much of a hip shift are you doing? You said you're not really doing like a full.
No, I'm not doing like a back step, but I'm shifting enough so I'm on my left hip because I'm just trying to make it easier for me to back step. So we're here, we're pressuring here. I think the important thing is I am going to my hip, but I want to make sure that I'm pinching here. You could even drop this to the ground. So it's easier for you to back step to bring this in. So you can go all the way to your hip, that's fine. As long as your right leg is lower than your left. Because you do a 180, yeah. Because what it looks like from this position is, I don't want to be here, I want to be like this. So now I'm stopping him from going to half guard, right? Pulling this back. Then I can come out and then bring this in.
Feels like a little bit of a knee bar lecture.
Thanks.
Okay? Any other questions? All right, last one.